Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be talking about the official return of Carmella, as well as WWE's announcement that live crowds are back. So let's start things off with the Carmella return. WWE was labeling these teasers as the Smackdown Mystery Woman. It was a mystery after week 1 of these teasers. It was impossible to point out who it was. But WWE basically gave it away the very next week during the second week of the teasers. That second teaser literally showed Carmella's tattoo, so the entire mystery and speculation was basically over. Everyone knew it was Carmella, so we stopped covering the teasers until we got more information, and we now have that information. Carmella officially showed her face in this week's teasers and confirmed that she was the mystery woman. Carmella said, "Sometimes you have to take a long, hard look in the mirror to remember who you are, and I admit it, I forgot. I got a little lost along the way, but I know exactly who to blame, and that's you, all of you. You wanted me to do things your way, play by your rules. You want me to dance around, have fun, and look at where that got me. Absolutely nowhere. Then I remembered, I'm Carmella. I'm better than each and every one of you. I'm not your princess anymore, so rather I get drafted to Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't matter because this time I'm untouchable." So a few things to note here from Carmella's returning promo. The obvious thing to point out is that she will be a heel upon her return. She made that really clear by blaming the fans for her career getting off track and saying that she's better than all of them. So this new Carmella will most definitely be a heel character. Another smaller thing to note was the little line she slipped in there of, "I'm not your princess anymore." That's a reference to her old persona and old nickname of being the Princess of Staten Island. So by her saying, "I'm not your princess," it's basically confirmation that her old persona and everything we knew about her is gone, which we sort of figured was the case, so that's not much of a surprise. Everyone assumed this was a big makeover and repackage for Carmella. That's exactly what it is. Her old persona is no more. I really enjoyed the promo and the overall change in direction for Carmella. Just like she said, I felt like the Carmella character got lost in the shuffle over the last few years. You take a look back at 2016 to 2017, and I think that was the absolute prime of her actual character. Those promos with Nikki Bella, her reign as SmackDown Women's Champion, and everything else that she did within that window of time was great. But when she got paired with R-Truth and turned babyface, her career went flying off the rails. She went from a dominant heel persona to a comedic babyface character that needed dance breaks in between her matches. So I feel like that's where Carmella's character was absolutely destroyed at. She was just this sidekick for R-Truth, and I feel like she lost her character. So to hear her admit that she got lost, but had to take a step back and realize who she was, is something I love to hear. She needed this desperately. The character really needed this little makeover as well. She's refreshed. We haven't seen her in over 5 months, and she's been scratching to get back into action. When a superstar is that desperate and can't wait to return to television, that's usually when they pull off their best work and performances. So I'm really excited to see where this all goes for her character. Some fans on social media didn't feel the same way though. Some fans said that the new persona didn't fit her character. Some fans called it a ripoff and desperate revival of the Emelina character from a few years ago. Some fans just didn't like the look. Carmella responded to the negative response to her return and had this to say on Twitter. "Been off of TV and out of the public eye for over 5 months. I come back for one night, and the amount of negative comments I see just based on my looks alone is disgusting. I forgot what a toxic place social media can truly be. Thank God I know what I am." When confronted about the Emelina comparisons, Carmella had this to say, "You have no idea what you're in for. Haven't even scratched the surface yet." So I really couldn't believe all the bad feedback from the fans. I don't understand the Emelina comparisons either. We never technically saw the Emelina character, so it's hard to compare anyone to her. All we ever saw from Emelina was her wearing those fancy clothes. So from now on, whenever we see a woman wrestler dressing up fancy, we are just going to compare them to Emelina every single time. That comparison seems so foolish. Then for the others that said that this doesn't fit Carmella's character, I see that differently as well. I think this perfectly fits Carmella's character. Even though it's a new persona, I think it stays really true to who she is, and could possibly fit her better than her original persona. Carmella's old theme was all about fancy clothing, being fabulous, and that whole entire concept, but we never got much of that from her character. Now, look at Carmella's character. I think this is what she should have been from the start. The fancy, expensive attire and just the ruthless heel. So I personally love the change from Carmella. I feel like she literally had nothing left to do with her old persona. So this was really needed. We'll have to wait and see where it goes and where she will end up at, Raw or SmackDown. Some really exciting news here, and that's the fact that WWE has just confirmed their first live crowd for the first time since March of this year. The NXT taping in the middle of March was the last WWE show to feature a live crowd. Since then, we've seen completely empty arenas. We've seen WWE employees play the role of a live crowd, and we've seen the virtual Thunderdome. WWE started to bring in a few select fans and family into the tapings a few months back, but after a performance center outbreak took place, WWE had to dial it back with those extra live fans. We've seen AEW have some version of a live crowd by selling limited tickets and having everyone extremely spaced out in the arena. Now, it seems like WWE will be taking the same similar route. There was a rumor a few days ago leading up to NXT Takeover 31 that the show would have live fans, but no one knew if it was true or not. Triple H confirmed the rumor during an interview with Sports Illustrated. Triple H had this to say: "There will be a contingent of fans in attendance, some of which will be talent, others will be friends and family, and some will be fans. We will take every safety precaution that there is. All of this was signed off by our medical staff. Everyone that walks in the building will be PCR tested, take a questionnaire, and be medically screened. There will be plexiglass pods with fans that are in groups, and the groups will vary in size. Everyone will wear masks, and each group will never be near anyone else. We're taking every single precaution we can, which needs to be done safely, and it's important to us because fans are the lifeblood of what we do. The real core of this is the fans in those seats reacting to what we do. That gives us our energy and our drive. They dedicate the story, and having them there makes all the difference in the world." So this is huge information and was just dropped out of nowhere. This will be the first time that WWE had an actual live crowd in over 7 months, so it's a big deal. It looks like this will be WWE's test run to see how having a live crowd will work. If everything runs smoothly with this takeover crowd, then we can definitely expect WWE to duplicate this same procedure for Raw and SmackDown crowds. The deal inside the Thunderdome is set to expire at the end of October, so we have a few more confirmed weeks inside the Thunderdome. But after the end of October, the future is still a mystery for WWE. Will they stay inside the Thunderdome? Will they go back to the Performance Center? Or will they enter a new arena where they can have fans at? My guess would be that they'll move into a new arena where they can have fans in it. I don't think they want to continue Thunderdome for too long, and I don't think they want to go back to the Performance Center. That'll be like taking a step backwards for them. So I think if they want to keep taking steps forward, then the next move for them will be to move into a new arena where they can have fans in. Especially if the new live crowd method works for them, they'll definitely have the live crowd for each and every show. But it's still some exciting news that we now have our first official live crowd for the first time in several months. What are your thoughts on Carmella's return and the return of live crowds? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.